Hello, beloved listeners. This is Adrienne, and we are bringing you an episode that Autumn and I actually recorded live at the Great Northern Winter Festival, which just took place on January 31st in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was a really beautiful conversation, intimate conversation that we got to have with our community. And so we absolutely wanted you to hear it all. And I just want to take a second to thank the team because they took such good care of us. And we felt so, loved, protected, safely able to get together and have this conversation. So thank you to Jovan C. Speller Rebolar, Angel Akurian, Brianna Lowe, Jassa McKenzie, Lily Benovitz, and Charlie Frisk. Really grateful to y'all and really hope everyone enjoys this conversation. Sending a love.
All right, so this next conversation really brings us into the heart of climate work. Adrienne Marie Brown and Autumn Brown are writers, facilitators, and activists whose work centers collective care, imagination, and survival. As sisters who share multiracial and diasporic lineages, they bring both intimacy and depth to conversations about crisis, transformation, and what it means to come through endings together. I'm personally really excited for this one because I learned about Adrienne years ago reading her book, Emergent Strategy. And here I felt like the book had been written just for me. I was on my journey out of the Army. I was leaving the Army. I was looking for other challenges. And I was seeking meaning in the world. And so I want to share a couple of core principles from that book that I think are especially apt today. So first, there is always enough time for the right work. There is always enough time for the right work. And second, there is a conversation in this room that only these people at this moment can have. Let's find it. Please welcome Adrienne Marie Brown and Autumn Brown.
Hey, girl. Hey. You sit there. Wow.
I brought my hat. All right.
Good morning. It looks perfect. Yeah. When we were on our way here in the car, Adrienne didn't have a lip on. But I did. And I was like, I need you to put a lip on so that I don't look weird up here with my lip.
But then I just put on a bottom lip to see if I could go to the future a little bit and just be maybe I'm in Star Wars.
Queen Amidala.
But then it quickly got all over my teeth and didn't look right. But I'm gonna get there. We're gonna get there together, people. We're gonna get back to a world, forward to a world where we can focus on fashion with the focus that we should have for it.
Yes.
We're being distracted
That's
by
the
all
problem.
this warmongering and horrible colonization. What we should be doing is making amazing fits.
Yes.
Anyway, so y'all.
You didn't know it was going to be this funny. Just get ready. It's not even over yet.
I know. And I really want to say I flew in for this. And all my friends, everybody's like, you're going where? Right now? This weekend? You're going to Minnesota? And at first it was because before the siege started, it was because it was cold. They were like, you're going to Minnesota in January. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know, it's ludicrous, but I do this often because Autumn's youngest child has a January birthday. And I'm that kind of auntie, where I'm like, mm-hmm. Your birthday's not real if I'm not there.
Right. Right.
I'm just like,
round of applause.
It's me. I'm here. You turned another year older. But then with the siege that y'all have been showing us the way inside of, I just want to give, before we even start, my love, my gratitude, my revolutionary deep bow to everyone in this room who has been a part of this resistance. As someone who's been outside of the city, there's nothing, I can't look away from you all. You are so beautiful. It is so vibrant. It's so powerful. This is what we've been talking about. We've known was coming, and we knew that we needed to be the kind of people to meet it. And yeah, I didn't think this was gonna pour out.
Girl,
but
go for it.
I just have to say, I've already been saying it to Autumn, like I call her and I'm just like, don't go outside, but are you going outside? You're so brave. Don't go, don't do it, but you're doing it. Of course you're doing it. I didn't ever imagine what it would feel like to be the person who's like in proximity to, loved ones in this state. And it really, your like revolutionary stuff all gets tested when you're like, yeah, guns. Well, don't shoot my people. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, they are going to shoot all of us. They're going to shoot everybody. They're coming for everybody. We all have to stand up to have a chance for any of us to be safe. And so I just want to say, I see y'all. I see that like no one opted into this violence, and all of you are meeting it with such grace and rigor.
And curiosity.
Yes. And by the way, who are we? So, sister, bow down to you. I love you so much.
I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Are we also glad that Adrienne Brown is here? This is so cool. I feel very emotional, and I'm just going to be like probably a little crybaby this whole time.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm just, we are all, our whole city is honored by your presence. Oh. And thank you for coming to be with us in the middle of the occupation. Yeah. I think I can speak for everyone in this room. This has been a very, very intense time in our lives. I looked at my sweetheart recently and I was like, I think this might be like the most intense thing I've ever lived through. And I've lived through a lot of really intense things.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I think so. And I think we're all looking around at each other being like, okay, we're here. We're the ones who are here.
Yeah.
No one would have predicted, but actually Prince predicted.
Prince knew. Prince was like, look, I'm going to go bit my paisley.
But, it's not, go ahead. Do it. So we wouldn't have predicted, and I keep telling people in my life that I wouldn't wish these conditions on anyone, but I do wish these skills and relationships and this love and inspiration on everyone. I want everyone to feel what it feels like to be here. So we're honored by your presence anyway, because you're fucking dope, and I can confirm as her sister, she is actually as great. She's more great even than you think that she is. You don't even actually know.
That's so nice.
How great she is. I'm the one who knows.
Oh my gosh.
So I love you, and I'm so glad you're here. And also just in terms of,
oh my God,
we're living through a time that many of us, yourself included, we've been preparing the way for.
Yeah.
And so I really honor the fact that you chose to come here in the midst of this.
It's deep. I couldn't wait to get here, y'all, because I'm just like, thank you for mentioning emergent strategy, because I'm just like, I really have been only thinking about this moment for a long time. And what y'all are doing, it's like watching something come off of every page of every book that I've loved, including the ones I've gotten to write. I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
It's happening right now. It's that we've caught up to the thing we were both scared of and anticipating, and also that we know we need, So to bring it back into this climate conversation, I think when we talk about apocalypse, when we talk about how we survive the end of the world, for many of us, what comes to mind
is what our podcast is about. We forgot to introduce ourselves.
But we have a podcast. It's called How to Survive the End of the World, and we've been doing it since 2017. And it was inspired by Octavia Butler, among other things. And Octavia was obsessed with climate crisis and catastrophe and change. And she understood what many of us understand, which is we live on a planet that does not need us, but that we desperately need. And we are impacting it. And we're impacting it because we're not paying attention to it. We're paying attention to how to dominate each other, right? And since humans have gotten here, a lot of our story is one of dominating each other with more and more harmful, egregious impacts on each other and on the earth, right? And when we think about climate change, we're like, oh, the polar bears. I'm like, no, we make things go extinct. And also there are other reasons that there's mass extinction events. But we know for sure that like humans are like kind of the worst because we're intentional, right? We're like, no one else is running around like, let me get rid of these bears. Like we're out here like, we know that what we're doing is causing irreparable harm and we're still doing it. And not just to the earth, but to each other. And not just to each other, but to our kids. And not just to our kids, but to people that we say we love, that look like us, whatever it is. There's no boundary to our harmfulness. And so much of what we have focused on with our show has been, how do we get along? Like, how do humans get out of this cycle of...
How do we get along?
How do we? Like, is it possible? If humans can't figure out how to survive together, then my prayer is that we go extinct quickly, right? The planet is that precious to me. It is so beautiful. The life on it is so beautiful. But I think there's enough of us that can figure it out that we can just make the baddies go extinct. But
Just
if
the
you know,
baddie.
just the baddies.
Just
And
the
what I
bad
mean by
ones.
that is not the Meg and the Stallion baddies, obviously. What I mean by that is like, if you don't want to be on Earth, then don't, right? Then don't. And how do the rest of us survive it while they figure that out? That's literally my thing. I'm like, if you don't like it here, if you think you can go live on Mars, like I watched that
Like
movie.
Elon Musk, if you want to leave, leave.
Please go.
Please go.
Please go.
No one wants
You
you
can
here.
go. Like literally you made a ship, you can go, right? But we like it here. And I think there are aliens that are just waiting for us to have this clear moment of like, let them go. We'll take care of it, you know? Anyway, to land it all in climate change. For us, there's no conversation about climate catastrophe and change right now that doesn't include the resistance that's happening this moment, because migration happens because of colonization and capitalism, right? Because countries like the US take everything they want from everyone else, because we have a rapist in chief and it's not the first time we've had that. Because that's how it works, then climate is a fundamentally political issue about how we get along with each other and how our economy works and who gets treated like a human and who doesn't. So today our conversation might not be as much about birds and bees as we would like it to be. We're going to talk a lot about revolution and resistance and what we're learning here. And mostly I'm going to be interviewing Autumn because I'm like a geeked out sister. You know, I'm like, and then whistles, and then, okay, and how, okay, so how do you, so that neighbor, like the next door neighbor, I'm blown away. So is that okay? Mostly that I can just ask you questions.
Is it okay with y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk for a while between the two of us, and then we'll open it up to audience questions.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I've decided I live here now.
I was like, I knew you wanted the couch for a reason. You're like, why don't you go sit over there?
You should go sit over there so I can be on the couch.
But can I show them? I have real winter boots on too.
Yeah. So cute.
Okay.
You're so cute.
It matches. Okay. So the first question I have, this actually might sound ridiculous, but I did bring my hat and my scarf and all this stuff for a reason. What can us weak, warm-blooded people learn like from y'all? Because you know, we're watching from outside and it's like, now there's this many people are outside and it's 0 degrees. I'm like, that's not possible. Don't people die if it's under freezing?
Right.
But y'all, so, you know, how do we,
Yeah. Well, I always tell people, because I'm not from Minnesota originally.
I know.
As you know.
I'm like, girl, why did you come here? It's so cold.
I know.
But now I know.
I came here to get divorced. Because you can't make this shit up. But
Iconic.
I'm so glad now. I'm like,
I'm
you
so
know,
glad.
you never know what you're going to be grateful to your ex for. And I'm like, I'm so glad you brought me here,
Yeah.
even though I had to leave your ass. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, I've lived in Minnesota since 2010. So I've been here now for almost 16 years.
You have a little bit of a Minnesota accent.
I have a little bit of an accent now. And We grew up military, so you do tend to you develop this problem where you kind of take on the accent of where you are. I promise it's not cultural co-optation. It's like actually...
When I lived in Germany, I talk like this.
It's a problem. But what I always tell people as a transplant is that living in Minnesota, it's all about having the right gear, you know?
Yes.
So there's that. It is about having the right gear, right? We have to have our boots that are rated to a certain temperature. You know, you just have to have layers. I know. I didn't know either.
I know.
You don't learn these things until you arrive in a situation where you need to know them.
No.
And I did feel like, especially the first decade that I was here, I learned a whole bunch of hard skills that I think a lot of people who live in Minnesota end up, even if you live in the cities, you end up learning a bunch of skills. Like you learn how to make a fire. You just there are things that you learn because if you don't know those things, you could find yourself in a situation where you would die. But but this is the thing. This is what I'm getting at. That it's really different to live in an environment where there are months out of the year where you could die just being outside.
Yeah.
And I think that does two things to us, or has maybe done two things to us. I'd be curious to know what other people in the room think. I think one, I often started telling people after I had been here for about 10 years, I was like, I think I've been hardened like a tree, in the sense that I don't even respond to cold in the same way that I did before, you know?
No, can I
it
just
has
say
to
this?
be a certain depth of cold for me to even notice that it's cold.
Yesterday we pulled up and I have all the layers that I have in my home on just to get from the car to her house.
Right.
And Autumn walks out in a t-shirt and sweatpants and just was like, hey. I was like,
yeah. Yeah. And I'm not,
yeah.
the teenagers walking to, we all see them every day. The teenagers walking to school with just hoodies on and it's 10
and
below.
It does seem to be multiracial.
And they don't have hats on. Yeah. It's weird.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So there's something that I think, I literally do think that it is physiological, that there is a change that happens in our bodies.
Yeah.
But I think there is also something, and I've been saying this on the show, I've been saying it to a lot of people that I've been talking to, there is a spiritual shift that I think we undergo, spiritual, psychological, whatever you want to call it, when you live in an environment where you actually do have to rely on one another. And you can't pretend that that's not true, right? In American society, because it's so hyper-individualistic, the mythology of individualism is so powerful here. Oh, little spider friend.
Hi.
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 Hello. Coming my way, huh?
Little winter spot. Oh,
there he goes.
I'm sorry she blew on you.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't want it to accidentally crawl up my back, and then I'm trying to be relaxed. And that spider,
no, I'm glad
that
you did.
spider is fine. As you were saying, Earth is fine.
Earth
the spider is fine. So
we don't have to save it.
So we don't have to save everything.
I'm codependent with the Earth. I gotta chill. All right.
So I do think, I think that we know here that we have to depend on one another in a way that is not, it's not theoretical for us. And I think that, if there's something that we have to transmit to weak, warm-blooded people who are outside of our state, it is that recognition that all we have is relationship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
One of the other things I keep trying to explain to people about the resistance that's happening here that is so amazing to me after years of being in movement spaces that are so mired by ideas and ideology. No one's talking about ideas right now. Everyone's focused on meeting practical material needs and protecting one another. It's not about, no one's trying to advance a political agenda beyond we deserve to live and everyone deserves to live and to thrive, to be alive, to be protected. And it's so beyond the kind of the plasticity of political frameworks.
Yes.
And I don't mean to imply that political frameworks don't matter. I just really don't think they matter to the degree that we've all been made to believe that they do. And I think that in many ways that's hampered a lot of the movement building that we could have been doing all this time. So we're in the slipstream now, as Norma Wong would put it. We're in this like rushing period of change. And people, I think, are very quickly here understanding that we can let go of our need to control how other people think about what's happening. We can actually let that go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What matters is like, are you safe?
Yeah.
Do you have the food that you need? Do you have childcare? Do you need someone to protect your home? Do you need someone to protect your school? I have time. I have this. I have that. Like the material needs. Yeah. It's very, to me, for those of you in the room who are like Octavia Butler fans, to me, it's very in keeping. Yeah, someone's like, yes.
It's if you're not, you can go start reading Octavia Butler today.
Right now, today.
I'm so jealous.
And you'll be so happy. Right, I know. I wish I could do it all over again.
Well, I do. If you smoke enough weed, you can start anything over.
That's right. That's right. An advocate for drugs.
Yes.
So one of the things I love in Octavia's work, she really does a great job of representing exactly this phenomenon that like you don't get to choose who you end up with.
That's right.
When the shit hits the fan, you have to figure out how to survive with the people that you're with, how to love the people that you're with, how to be neighbors with the people that you're with. The political frameworks are there, but they're backgrounded to the actual relationship. Like to me, that was one of the early lessons that I learned from her work is like, you won't get to choose. Whatever choice you think you're going to have about who is in your pod, you won't get that choice. And so what's happening here is like, we are literally, it's like when ICE is on the block, you're not stopping to figure out, well, which neighbor are they going after? Yeah. No one's stopping to question who they're going after. We hear the whistle, you go outside. You know what your role is. You're either documenting, you're monitoring, you're whistling, you're making noise, you're bringing more people in, you're helping people stay calm. Everyone has a role to play inside of a situation like that, but none of those roles involve asking, does that person deserve my help? You know what I mean? I don't think that's crossed anyone's mind. Got my whistle.
I love that.
I was like, make it fashion.
Oh, that's such a cute whistle.
It's a very cute whistle, and it has report ICE in the phone number.
Oh, I love that.
Someone printed it.
I got a bunch of just ugly black whistles for me and my neighbors that I've been giving out to everybody. But now I know I need to upgrade.
Yeah, no, you can make it fashion.
So there's so much in what you just offered that is like really moving. That piece around, in some ways, the most decolonial thing we can do is to remove the part of us that is othering, right?
That part.
That part, right?
That part,
right? And so we don't even realize it. We're so deep into the colonization of othering as the way that we see the whole world that we don't realize it. And what you're saying is you have to like wash your mind, wash your heart, wash your system so that you can show up whole for whoever neighbor needs you.
And you can wash it with snow.
And you can wash it with snow, right? And so I was thinking about that because I was coming into the airport and I was like clocking everyone that like looked ice-like to me. And I was like, and I could feel this whole thing start to come up in me. I was like, that might be one of the nice white burly men.
There's so many of them.
Right? I was like, you can't tell by
all you bearded white men who've been out on the streets.
Listen, I've seen them. I've been watching the videos. And I was like, these people are becoming so much more dateable. And I think everyone should know that. I'm like, if you're a white guy and you're lonely, like, there's another way.
There's another way.
Come to the movement.
There's a whole other way to get pussy.
But
sorry.
I love you so much.
Not
You're
sorry.
so crass. Says the pleasure activist. Okay, so there's two things.
Yeah, you don't get to be scandalized.
I was like, my mom has a book about my nipple pleasure, so I don't get to say anything. Yeah. All right, but I was going to say important, serious things. So the things that I wanted to highlight in what you just offered, this piece around not othering feels crucial, right? And being able to figure out at a neighbor level, can I do that, right? Because I think this is, one of the biggest pieces I'm noticing is multiracialism. What it actually looks like in so many of our cities is coexisting without any interaction or without any intimacy, right? It's like, oh, I'm in a diverse neighborhood. And that just means like when I drive in and out, I see people of other races, but that doesn't mean I talk to them. But they're over there and I'm here, and we tolerate. There's a lot of tolerating each other versus being intimate, being in neighborhood, being in community with each other. I want to come back to the multiracial piece in a little bit.
We got to talk about it.
I want to come back to it because it's big. It's a big deal. But this other piece, when you said it's not about what other people think about it, that also really moved me. So from, I dip my toe into the online world as much as I can, and then I have to pull myself back out.
It's so terrible there.
It's terrible there. But there's
except for like
there's a couple of accounts.
Yeah.
Like mine.
Food. Yeah, you have great memes.
Okay, I like memes.
And then there's the people, I still do like watching people cook recipes.
Oh, that's good. I like also people who are like I like Miss Rachel. There's people where I'm like, I can see that this person's brave act is happening in this space. Yeah. I can see that this person is choosing to foment love and beauty in this space. I like that. Mm-hmm. The thing that I am noticing, though, is in that online world, we're so caught in the cycles of talking at each other and ideas and posturing with our ideas and then we want celebrities to pick up those ideas, and it becomes really about the celebrities who
whether they're saying
did they say the right thing about how what I've noticed here is that there are some celebrities who have been, are finally coming like, yay, I see what y'all are doing. But that doesn't matter. That's not the barometer of success for y'all at all. And I love that. Like the leaderful, I remember years ago talking about leaderful movement, like movement where any person at any time feels like I could step up and be the one now who, just like we see in nature, I'm at the front of the flock. Now I'm at the back of the flock. Now I'm at the side of the flock. I'm at the front. And being able to move with that, it's really hard to do that if you have any celebrity stank up on you, right? If
our city is kind of like a big group of penguin daddies when you think about it.
Yes. Protecting those eggs on the ice. Oh.
Penguin daddies.
Penguin daddies. Okay, sorry. All right. My next tattoo. So...
spread the word, everyone.
but I do want to highlight this for, both to just reflect back to y'all that it's really refreshing to be like, oh, like celebrities always are late to the party. They're not involved in anything. Yeah. They're not, their job
celebrities are not leaders.
They're not leaders, and their job is rarely to even be that informed, right? I know some of them, and... I love them to pieces. They're just humans. They're just humans whose job puts them in a spotlight. That doesn't mean that they have anything special to add to the mix necessarily, right? Except maybe a platform, and only then if they use it correctly. This is why I'm like, Miss Rachel, who knew? Children's show lady. I've never watched her show. She's one of my favorite celebrities, okay? Pedro Pascal, I love everything he's ever done. Right. Also, I'm like, it matters to me that he's on the right side of history. I've written Beyonce a couple of letters. We're working on it. Actually, there's so many ways that I have noticed my own attention being moved from this up celebrity place back down into where things matter, and the culture that is coming out, the stories, the songs. It's amazing to see. So I want to uplift that as one piece of it. That feels
right, and it's like there's a lot there's a lot of information that we are transmitting via social media, but the organizing is happening face to face, via Signal, via WhatsApp.
Well, and this idea of like whether you're a good person or not is not about something you can curate for an audience, right? And I think that has always disturbed me about online space. Like I've always tried to be like, I'm trying to still be an authentic person in that space, which is why I have to stay away from it a lot of times. Because I'm like, I can feel the pull to perform or say something a certain way. And I really try to never post from that place, right? That I'm like, oh, everyone's saying this. Or we got, like even yesterday, I was like, Catherine O'Hara died and I'm bawling because I really actually freaking love Catherine O'Hara. I'm like, I don't need to go announce that. I don't need to post that. I don't need to whatever. I'm just can love her, right? And I feel like the same thing here. I'm just like, you can just love each other, like whatever it is you're feeling and doing and being. So I love the post-celebrity or the like beyond celebrity piece of the movement here.
Yeah.
And I do want to circle back to the multiracial piece.
Let's do it.
Okay. So last week, when did we do that? We did like an emergency dispatch.
It was
like 2 weeks ago, maybe. And one of the things you said in it, which I thought was really powerful, was you were just like, yeah, it's people are saying that we're only showing up this way because Renee Good was white, and because of the whiteness of the situation, and that all these people are attending to this because of her being white, and now all of a sudden it matters. And you were like, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening here. And we were really talking about Minneapolis. And we were talking about, it's not what's happening here in Minneapolis. Y'all have a history of showing up no matter who is being harmed by the state. So a lot of the names that we know of this stuff happening, Jamar Clark, Philando Castile, we know names of people who've been, leading up to George Floyd. We knew these names of people, and I don't think people made that connection as it was happening, right? Like that it was like, these things are all happening in the Twin Cities. Like I think when George Floyd, when that erupted, I think people started to click like, oh, y'all are up to something different here. Like the same things are happening that are happening in our places, but you're responding differently to it. And it is something about this multiracial movement, this ability to see someone's humanity and say that was not fair or right. And we know what's fair and right. We're going to stand up and do something about it. And I see, again, like a lot of the online discourse is people being like, this is because of this is because of that. And missing a lot of what feels like the nuance. People are like, well, what about Keith Porter? And I'm like, absolutely. Keith Porter was killed by ICE agent, deserves all this energy and attention. And the only nuance is like, you just don't have a video of that. It's really different. Just like what we learned in Palestine versus, the reason all this attention goes to Palestine versus the Sudan. It's like, it's different when you can see that documentation.
When you can document it.
Right? When you're like, I'm watching it. I can't argue with what I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. No one else can like reinterpret it, even if they try to, which they keep trying to do here is tell you like, you didn't see that. Don't worry about that. And y'all are like, no, we did. And we're going to show up in droves because we did, right? I want to keep teasing this piece out, right? Yeah. It's like, because I think people are terrified of what multiracialism means.
Right.
Right. I think there's a real sense of like, my sense of justice is tied into, the black and white of it all. I don't really know how to move beyond that. It's not safe to move beyond that. I can't trust white people. I can't. And there's something that y'all are doing here that I just keep being like in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, folks are showing up in this multiracial, cross-racial way that we actually all need to learn from, and we have to sort of set down some of our defensiveness to learn that.
Totally. And I can talk about this. I'm going to try to talk about it as carefully and clearly as I can, because it's one of those things where it's hard to talk about it without producing a lot of reactivity in people. But I think the first and maybe most important thing I want to say about this is that like collectively, we have all drunk the Kool-Aid of white supremacy, and we process that in different ways, right? But it's like if you reject,
which just to say, the drinking of the Kool-Aid, just like in the metaphor of that, was a manipulated thing that pointed us towards death.
Right.
So
exactly. Okay. White supremacy
manipulated into
is a death cult, as Saeed Jones once wrote.
Exactly.
And so if you step, someone said, I feel like maybe it was after Trump was elected the first time, and people were like, how did that happen? It's like, well, if you step into your oppressor's political framework and treat it as your own, as though it's true, instead of like shifting the political framework and having a different conversation on different grounds, if you step into their framework and you're just walking around inside of their framework, you're not going to be in a position of power to actually affect change, right? So if we accept white supremacy as true, meaning we're accepting that racial difference is true, and then our politics are built on that acceptance, we are not going to be able to change society, right? So a multiracial approach is saying that, like, not only do I reject the institutions of white supremacy, I reject the ideology of white supremacy that says that racial difference is real, okay? So I want to say that first, because that's like, I don't know why it's still important to name that, but for some reason,
really
it's like we have to keep reminding ourselves. Like for me,
it's because we're inside it.
We're inside
it's
it.
Really hard to see.
For me, it was like a real turning point in my life when I was like, oh, I don't walk into a room anymore and relate to like a white man. I'm assuming you're white. I'm looking at you. I'm like behind the mask.
Like,
I think
see,
you're
I
a white
don't even
man.
do this, so I can't even do it right now.
I wouldn't walk into a room with you anymore and be like, that person has power over me. Mm-hmm. That is a spiritual, psychological shift I have made in my life. I no longer walk into interactions with white people and think that person has power over me.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I'm not saying that's easy to do, but I'm saying it's like a necessity for us to do if we take seriously that we want to be free. We have to be like free of the constraints of white supremacy inside of ourselves and in the world. So that, all of that, right? Then into the fray, we have white folks who are taking seriously the things that we are saying. And they recognize, like Renee Good did, like Alex Preddy did, they recognize, okay then, my job is to put my body on the line and defend and protect people. That's my job. That is my sacred responsibility as a white person alive right now. So that's why I got so pissed off when I saw that online discourse where I was like, hold on a second. First of all,
how do we untangle?
Right, let's detangle this. First of all, Renee Good and Alex Preddy were not killed despite the fact that they're white. They were killed because they're white, working in multiracial formation. Yes. That's why they were killed. So like, right? And
it's like they're betraying the contract with whiteness.
They're betraying the contract with whiteness. They're race traitors, that's what we would have said back in the 70s, right? Yes. So they're being killed because they're race traitors, right? So in the same way that like George Floyd is being killed because he's black, Alex Preddy is being killed because he's white in solidarity with black and brown people. That is exactly the kind of politics we're supposed to be practicing. So then if we see that happening and then we have this regressive response of like, well, it's only getting attention because he's white, we're completely missing the point of what is happening, right? And so it's like, yes, of course there's a different kind of attention that's happening because of the person being white. Yes, of course there is. Yes. But we don't have to step into the pettiness of that. I think that's where I was really coming from is like, yes. Let's not step into the pettiness of being like, it's like, no, let's recognize what is happening. What is happening is white people are risking their lives to protect and defend black and brown people. They're getting killed for it. We all know, everyone in this room knows now, we know the risk that we're taking when we step outside. It's a shared risk. Yes. And that is like a fundamentally different political landscape to exist inside of than the one that we existed inside of a year ago. It actually gives us a shot at survival. Yes. Right? It's like people I think fail to understand what the death means. Right? It's like I wouldn't wish those deaths on those people or the tragedy on their families, but I don't think we have internalized what that kind of death means. It means that we actually have the possibility of survival if we're willing to die for one another. That's what makes it possible for us to survive. Yeah. Right? It's really hard. It's really, really hard. And that's why I feel so strongly about this, where like, and folks came for me online when I said it on the show, and
That's why we came back to this conversation.
That's why we came back to it, because I was just like, oh, I said what I said.
No, I wanted you to say it some more.
I said what I said, and I'll explain it, and I will die on that hill.
Literally, but I want to say this because I'm like,
y'all see, I feel strongly about this.
I want to reveal something here, which is that our family has had to be in this conversation too, right? Because as you're realizing this, we all have to be like, how do we orient towards getting in right relationship with the risk that you're now willing to take, right?
Yes.
That you're telling us you're like, it's not like you moved and you're like, I can't wait. You had to explain it. I'm like, why are you running towards it? And you're like, I'm not running towards it. It's knocking at
here.
my door. So I have to decide. And again, I keep being reminded, of Palestine. Palestine is what comes so loudly to mind. And I think of Rafat, the poet, who was like, I'm not asking for this. I don't want this violence. But if they come to my door, I will throw markers at them because that's all I have. And I remember being like so moved by that. And then they killed him. And it was like, it's not theoretical anymore.
It's not theoretical.
And I think that this is the threshold that we're crossing, where so much of this has been isolated, right? So for people who have been like, as Black people, as trans people, as immigrant people, like we've been so isolated in our pockets of suffering, and we have felt unseen, unheard in our suffering. And so the only thing we could do is bond together and be like, our suffering is uniquely ours.
Yes.
And no one else understands it, and no one else will
Yes.
ever understand it. And so fuck everybody else, like fundamentally it's ours.
It's such an understandable position.
It makes total sense. And so then in a moment like this, it's like we have to speed up a little in our turning towards each other and recognizing like the pain is not unique.
Not at all.
The pain of torture, the pain of oppression, the pain of being dehumanized, the pain of being displaced. I'm like, we are descendants of displaced peoples. So we have to look at this and understand what it means when someone's grabbed off the street and taken. This history repeats itself over and over again. And the more people who experience it, the more of us realize, again, that story of race has been such a distraction from what's actually happening, which is there's always a small group of people who want everything and they'll hurt anyone to get it. And if we let them lead us, we will never have anything. We won't have this earth. We won't have each other. We won't have safety. We won't have community. We won't be able to raise our kids well. And
their story is very powerful. But as you noticed, as you named, our story that we're telling to one another every day is so much more powerful than their story. But we have to be talking to each other.
We have to be talking to each other.
And that's the difference.
And it's also like there's a positivity to how we talk about it. So, I think part of what happened, and this is why I'm like, we have to start to really pull ourselves out of online spaces where the currency is negativity and the currency is only critique without any like offer. So, because I'm like, I can get in that place. I'm like, yeah, and they always do that. They always do this, and they always do, and they always do that. And I'm like, yeah, they do. On this online space, a lot of these things are bots. They're literally trained to just do the same thing over and over again. And humans are getting trained to be human by bots who are being, it's just in this sick cycle of no original thought, nothing changing. And so part of the invitation, I think that Minneapolis is making, I think that Palestine has been making, the invitation is, it's time to change now. It's time to risk our lives now. It's time to change who we think of as our allies now, our comrades now. It doesn't matter if you say you're our comrade and you don't do anything to be our comrade. All that matters right now, and I'm like, that's the thing that's been blowing my mind, is like, if you can say and you can understand that my life actually matters.
Right.
And you can not just say it, but then your actions all show that you know that. We can ride. We can ride together.
We ride at dawn.
We ride at dawn. Right? And it's so Octavian, like to bring it back to Octavia, this is one of the things she taught us. And it really is like, read the parable of the sower, read the parable of talents. We are on the road, right? And there's a time when you're like, you're on the road and you have to quickly be able to assess, like, can you honor and respect my existence? I can honor and respect yours. Let's walk. And as we walk, we can have some deeper conversations. And maybe eventually we'll get someplace where we have enough resources to talk about your ideas and my ideas. But we're not in that place right now.
Right.
We are not in the library. We're on the road. The library got burned down, right? Everything that you thought was society, that was going to be the society till you got old, right? Because we were raised by people who were like, I'm giving you something better than I had.
Yeah.
That's been the cycle. That's been the expectation. Now we're like, that was all a myth. The better was never coming. That's why, so many of our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they have existed in financial crisis for generations. One check, I don't know. I just have not met people who had the kind of security that was promised to them ever. Even the rich people I know are like depressed as fuck, It's so sad. I mean, the way the human experiment so far, like we're pulling beauty out of a very sad mess.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that we could like just have the beauty is very compelling to me. And that's what I see here, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, like if you just stand up and say a hell fucking no to the mess,
Mm-hmm.
like beauty is what remains, right? And then the martyrdom actually is like, oh yeah.
I'm just
what
checking
is it?
time because I know we want to take audience questions.
I forgot
but
about
you
them
wrap up what you were
completely.
going to say.
Sorry about that. So that's enough. That's enough. I
Mhm.
think that's enough of me talking. Yeah. And I want to say to you,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to take stances in this world that push against the status quo.
It's
right?
true.
It's hard.
It's not hard for me, but it is hard for people.
It's hard for me as your sister. I'm like, when people come for you on the internet, I'm like, let me write. Like, I never want to write a paragraph on the internet, like in comments,
I know.
ever, except when someone says something about you. And
I know.
I'm like,
But you can rest assured in knowing that I do not care.
you're
don't
such
care.
a Sagittarius.
I'm
in
such
that
a
way.
Sagittarius. I'm just like, you have an opinion about what I said? Negative attention is good.
You're the right person for these times. I'm like, oh God, write another book. Okay, so y'all, do you guys have questions for us? Do y'all want to? Does anybody here? Yes. Okay. Is there a process for this? Great. There's a microphone
going around the room.
Microphone is going.
They were waiting. Everyone was like, when are they going to sing, though?
When are they gonna sing? All right. Sorry.
First of all, thank you so much. Thank you. I have two questions for both of you, for Autumn especially. I'm curious how you're finding rest in this time, and I need help. This is a personal question. And I'm also curious about what we do with our neighbors and our friends who are opting out of this invitation. And our friends who say that they're our comrades, but they're not showing up. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for that question. I'll tell you, in terms of the rest question, I have to ask for help. So the thing that my sweetheart doesn't live here full time, but he was here for a couple of, not yet. I'm like, come on.
Revolution's happening
It's happening here.
in
But
Minnesota.
when he was here,
That's the Hamilton reference.
what?
The revolution's happening.
The revolution. Oh, that's right.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, we're trying to figure it out. Never mind.
Happening in Minneapolis.
It's happening in
You
Twin
can't. Yeah,
Cities.
we'll figure
We
it
have to figure
out.
out the rhythm. Okay.
We were trying to figure out how to fit musical theater into this event, and we did not land it. You saw us not land it just now, but that's okay. So
Just
to answer
you
your
wait,
question,
Kenny Higgins. All right.
what I did, because I'm sure like you and like many people in this room, I've been glued to the chats, scrolling the chats, also glued to social media, the news, looking to see what's being reported, what's not being reported, what can I uplift. So my partner and I came up with a little handle, because I was like, I need you to not tell me to put my phone down, but I do need you to ask me if I need to be looking at it. So he would just ask me like, oh, do you have a text that you need to send right now? Do you need to be looking at your phone? Assuming that maybe I do have a reason to be looking at it, but it was a cue for me to be like, no, actually, I don't need to be looking at it. Yeah. So I would say even just, it's not the best advice, but right now we're in a situation where we are understandably, our nervous systems are very hijacked by this situation. We are not, as humans, no one is meant to be living through such sustained activation, right? So we are having to call upon inner resources that many of us didn't even know that we had in order to be able to exist right now. And so little adjustments that we can make like that, like having someone else help us disconnect a little bit, making good use of the do not disturb, setting up shifts with our comrades. So like, I need time that I cannot be on the Signal chat. So let's set up shifts so that there's someone who's always paying attention, but it doesn't have to be all of us at all times, right? Making shifts. I'm a big proponent in really disciplined, embodied practices. Anyone who listens to the show knows this. I'm a martial artist, and I really, really believe in the power of a disciplined, embodied practice. So whether that's prayer, meditation, singing with other people, being a fucking fighter, which I am, like whatever it is, I think that those kinds of things actually help a lot as well, because anything that's going to help your body move the activation is going to help you rest, right? If you're sitting there being like, I can't sleep, that's because your body hasn't moved the activation, right? Our nervous systems are designed to metabolize stress and activation, but there's a process that our nervous systems have to go through. And if we're not letting our nervous systems do the process, then that's the thing that's going to keep us like this, you know what I mean, at night. So even if you don't have a practice, that's okay. The thing you could do tonight, and I recommend making it fun, is like pick like the poppiest dance song that you know, put it on, ideally 3 minutes at least, and just shake dance to it. And if you need, if want it, I mean, like it when you call me wonderful, whatever the type of talk it is, come on then. I gotta know you're meant to be the man I need. Talk to me. Okay, perfect. Olivia Dean. Olivia Dean, everybody, right? Whatever the song is, but literally shake your body to it.
Yes.
And if you need to do it in private because you're like, I can't do things like that in front of people, do it in private. Even something like that.
Yeah.
3 minutes of shaking your body to music will help move some of the activation you're feeling.
Yes.
So that would be my recommendation. To the question of comrades who are not comrades, I don't like Mel Robbins or the let them theory at all. But this is one of those moments. This is a let them moment. You know what I mean? Because I kind of feel like, what did the Philly rapper say to Mel Robbins? He was like, let them fuck them. Mel, say it with me. Fuck them. Anyway, y'all have to look this up. It's really funny.
I missed that.
But I do kind of feel like right now, again, because we're in the slipstream. So it's like we can't invest too much energy in trying to bring people with us. It's not like you could be here and not know what's going on, right? So if you're opting out, that's a choice that you're making. Let them fuck them. Make that choice. Honestly. I mean, yeah.
All right.
Or send the codependent.
I'll get them.
Let them, fuck them, get them.
No. The thing I want to say is, for many of you, right? There was a before and there's now, right? And there was some time before where you were like, yeah, somebody should do something. I know what that something should be, but you hadn't done it yet.
Yeah.
For all of us, there's some moment before, unless you were like, born to revolutionaries who like immediately got you started. But for most of us, we had to have some awakening. And I think what we're talking about is like, well, I've given the invitation 1,000,000 times. Like, why haven't they taken the invitation? And to remember that at some point we were on the other side of that someone was giving us the invitation, that people were like, I don't understand how people are still born into this world and don't understand. I mean, this is what the Palestinian struggle has been, teaching me. I'm like, I'm coming into like, how dare you? I'm like, wait, how old was I before I understood it? How long did it take me to get it?
Yeah.
How long did it take me to understand trans identity? How long has it taken me to understand what this country was built on and that it was founded inside of genocide? How long has it taken me to have my own awakenings? And so I always have to remind myself that, to stay humble in those moments and to say, maybe I'm not the right invitation for you. Maybe you will need someone to come through your door with a barricade for someone that you love. For some people, that's the only thing that'll get them, right? And I'm like, I'm sorry that it's going to be that hard for you. I'm offering you a gentle invitation. And now I'm offering you a snarky invitation. And now I'm sending you like the link for the fucking GoFundMe, because all you'll do is give a little bit of cash. Okay, right? But I noticed that I'm like, when I'm extending all my energy on where are you, I'm not being where I'm supposed to be necessarily.
Right.
And so I'm really trying to draw my energy back and be like, I gave you the invitation. You're an adult. I'm leaving it there. I'm going to be doing what I'm doing, right? And I have found this over and over in my life, that if you keep a good porous boundary, just like in nature, right? I'm writing about this now, that I'm like, in nature, the boundary is a wetland. It's a shore. It's something soft. It's not a hard wall. We try to make these hard, definitive things that trees still go right through when they're ready to. But we try to make these hard boundaries. And so we think that that's how we have to be with each other. It's not. It can be a soft boundary. I can be like, I will make sure you can still see what you need to see. The invitation is still there. But I'm not going to come over into your territory of sleepfulness, unwakefulness, whatever. I'm like, I can't come over to where you are. If we're going to meet, you're going to have to come this way this time. There's this beautiful quote from General Baker, who was a leader in Detroit, that I often say, which is we're often like, how do we get the people here? How do we get the people here? Focus instead on what we're going to do when the people come. That's what I see happening so beautifully here, is that as folks are showing up, and I keep hearing this from y'all, people are showing up and they're like on a group chat for the first time, like, oh, is it okay to say this? I don't know. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. We've spent the last 10 years terrifying people to put their foot in their mouth.
Right.
I'm like, you're not going to learn about this unless you are comfortable with the taste of your toes, honey, because you are going to say the wrong thing. You don't know yet. None of us know. We're all learning it all the time. And because we have such an expertise culture now, we're all so scared to just not know, but we don't know.
Right.
None of us have gotten there yet, right? We have been to the mountaintop of feeling the togetherness,
right?
Those moments. We know that it's possible, but we haven't actually done it yet. And that humility is what we can bring to the table, right? Just like, we haven't done it yet. I don't know, but I know that this is where I'm going to stand, and you are welcome to come stand with me.
Come stand next to me on the street corner with our candles.
Exactly, right? Or I will just keep sending your money to the places I tell you to send your money to. I'll let that be enough.
Do we have time for one more?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Anybody got
We have time for one more.
All right.
Look at these brave souls.
Are we scared?
Thank you so much. There's so much I want to say. And all I'm going to say is I am having a hard time in my heart understanding how to relate with ICE agents, with people who are getting getting information that makes them think it's okay to do what they're doing. I feel so much rage, and I know that directing that and being like snarky and angry back at them is not necessarily, it's just adding to the fuel, to the fire. But what do we do? What do we do with the hate?
I think rage is a completely legitimate response to have to the agents. Personally, I'm unpopularopinion.com. I remain, but when I've been seeing some of the media critique of the invective from protesters against ICE agents, where it's just like, they just keep saying the F word. And I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck them. So I will say, I think that if
you're gonna have to stop. Hurry.
If rage is what's coming through, rage is what's coming through. I think that learning how to healthily experience our rage is a part of what we are learning right now. Or I think that's a part of what we're practicing. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that we should be running up on their vehicles. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that we have to, I don't think that we need to tamp down the rage. Yeah. I think we need to let the rage, I think we need to stoke the flame and then figure out a clean cut. That's what we talk about in martial arts. What is the clean cut that we can make with the intensity of the emotion? Right? So whether that is in the form of the chant, the scream, the song, whatever form it needs to come through us. But I don't think that we need to shy away from or try to figure out any kind of polite way to contain the intensity of what we're feeling. They're occupiers. They are here to occupy and do violence.
Yeah.
And we don't owe them anything other than our rage.
I agree with you, sister. I do want to say, don't let it be rooted inside you in hate. So I think the inner work,
good
internal
differentiation,
work, right?
Yeah.
Is
rage and hate.
I am rooting this in love, And I can stand up and come to your face with it because I'm like so overflowing with love. And the only thing that love has to say to what you're bringing to me is no, fuck no, hell no. I will not be polite about it because I love myself and my people too much.
Yeah.
It's rooted in love and you're all good.
Okay.
All right, we're done.
We're done. We did it. Thank you.
Thank you.